Welcome to another episode of Inside the Valley. Dustin Black, soon to be dad again.
Any day now, man. It's boy number two.
Boy number two. So the dude just makes fellas.
I'm trying to grow the fan base. I'm trying to have as much fans as possible, have as many people contributing to the football program as possible. I think I got a good holder and a good kicker coming up. Go ahead.
Are you saying that girls can't be in the fan base?
No, I'm going for recruits. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about suiting up, putting the pads on,
But yeah, we do need a good kicker and a holder that's not named Swinney.
That's right.
That'll be good. So the first black holder.
I like that.
That's Dustin Black. I'm William Cockrell. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Valley. Just a couple of dads in here talking some ball. And what's more exciting than the transfer portal? We talked about it last week, but I feel like we have to say it again. 10 guys, double digits.
You know what this is? You know what it is for me, Will, as a Clemson fan is, a couple years ago, I bought a car, and it was the first car I ever had with a backup camera.
Okay.
And I used to make fun of people with backup cameras. I'd be like, why do you need a backup camera, man? Just throw your arm up, look back, and back up like a man, Why the hell would you do that? Now I'm on my second car with a backup camera, and it's just so much easier, man. It just makes life easier. You can back up as close as things as possible, and you're like, why would I ever drive a car without a backup camera now?
Yeah, and now that we have the transfer portal, why would we ever go into an offseason without the transfer portal? I'm right there with you. And I will say, I was the same way. I had a 2001 Honda CR-V. Obviously did not have a backup camera. And I was like, look at these Glamsbergs. Like, I'm a man.
Yeah,
I can back up my car, even though I'm driving a candy red CR-V. And then I got my truck with a backup camera. And, buddy, I cannot back up anything without that camera. Cannot do it. It can't happen. It's like I've completely lost that skill. It's not like riding a bike.
It's the same, man. Building a roster in 2026 without the transfer portal, like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So this is exciting. It couldn't be us. I'll tell you that much. Man, so we've got 10 people. I'll go through the list really quick. We'll do a couple games with this. We'll talk about a couple of things. We'll, be a little different with how we talk about it. What do we think we got in terms of what they're going to do to the roster? And you know what? Like, a couple of people have alluded to it. You've kind of alluded to it last week. Trade, straight up. Did we win the trades?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go through some of those 1-for-1s in the slots. So let's start off. Cornerback Elliott Washington II. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's coming in to be a starter. Period.
Yeah, starter either at field corner or nickel. I can't tell what they're going to do with him yet. I think you have a couple of candidates for nickel in the transfer portal class.
Yeah, and then I like what Corey and Gibson was doing late, which would probably bump Elliott Washington inside. I don't think Gibson can play nickel. We have Tink Kelly. You want him to be a rotational guy. You don't really want him to be the starter right now. No offense to Tink. And then we talked about Shavar Young Jr., a guy who needs to be getting reps in these lower games. When we're playing Charleston Southern, we need to have Shavar Young out there as much as possible, especially with now the new rule where you can have 9 games before your red shirt. Dustin, at that point, you might as well just play the entire season. That makes no sense. And the coaches voted on that unanimously. But I'm not going to complain about college football. We still have college football. We still have one more game. I'm not going to complain about college football. That's my rule. I don't do it. I'm not going to do it. So I think Elliott Washington is going to be a starter. Where he starts is up in the air. I mean, and it's nice to have a guy who has that kind of versatility. You know who that reminds me of? Avion Terrell, who had field corner and nickel versatility. He played a little bit of both.
And I think Tom Allen kind of leans on those corner types to play the Tiger position. It seems like mostly, we saw Shelton Lewis there early last season, Tink Kelly as well, just corners like that. And Corey Gibson, who played it late, he's more naturally a corner, more so than a safety. So I think I think he's a good candidate for that position.
And keep your eyes on Ronan Hannafin. He's going to be moving positions. I think he alluded to it with his Twitter bio or his Instagram bio. He went from safety to safety/linebacker. He's going to be playing one of those tweener positions. We kind of said that last week that we thought that would happen. I think he's now putting it out there too. Corey Myrick out of Southern Miss. I think that's a starter.
Love this guy. Yep.
Jerome Carter III, also a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and say this without getting too excited and having blood go to places that it shouldn't go to while we're podcasting. When they came out and said we got to change the mentality of the safety room. When they throw it, we pick it. When they run it, we stick it. Dustin, that made me want to run through the wall. I wanted to be the Kool-Aid man and run through the wall after I heard that. That is the mentality we've been missing in our safety room. Ricardo Jones kind of had it. Not like that. That's a dog mentality. I love it. And I know both of these guys are your guys. I'd love to hear what you have to say about both of them, specifically Jerome Carter.
Yeah, well, Jerome Carter is just junior year Polo Anderson, essentially. I mean, similar body type, similar play style, can do a lot of the same things. I think Jerome Carter is going to be an awesome addition. Honestly, like we talked about, I think we talked about this last episode, reminds me of TJ Green.
Yeah.
Last time Chad Morris was here, I know he plays defense, but that kind of what it brought me back to whenever I saw 6'3", 215, 220, and kind of how rangy he is at the safety position.
Well, and you know what they play with that our guys really haven't the past couple of years is confidence. Even on our defense, we've kind of lacked that confidence and that swag to them. These guys play with their piss hot, and they do not lack confidence.
I'm so glad you used that word. That's like the one word where like I've had a lot of Georgia fans ask me about Khalil Barnes, and it's like I think he lost his confidence.
Yeah, and Ricardo did too.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, when Ricardo was put in these unadvantageous situations, he lost multiple times. Yep. And to the naked eye, hey, that dude's getting torched. And then he's getting torched on social media. He's getting torched by the national news. He's getting torched by watching the highlights the next day and seeing number 6 chasing down Troy's running back on the wheel route.
It's a perfect word to describe these corners that they're bringing in. I think they play with a ton of confidence and a ton of swagger, and it's going to be they're going to bring the juice, I would say.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. So I'm hoping we can get some confidence back on offense too, but this is the transfer portal episode. We won't be talking about much offense until later. Edge London Merritt. That's a starter.
Yep.
That's a day one starter. So I want to touch on this too. Because you and I talked about this very, very quickly. Or actually, I think you just put it in our chat. Who was doing these ratings? I mean, we got 2 guys in the transfer portal who were all freshmen and all conference players who are getting 3-star ratings. What is this?
Yeah, London Merritt was a PFF all freshman team last year, which, I mean, PFF grades take them for what they're worth, but he performed as a freshman. Okay. Luke Farrelly was a all ACC freshman rookie of the year. Is that what it was? Defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Luke Farrelly, 3-star transfer portal player somehow.
Cool.
And London Merritt, low 4-star. So like transfer portal rankings, I would just put 0 stock in them. Honestly, like if you look at the top transfer classes, it's usually teams like Oklahoma State who have 47 transfers coming in. Yeah. Basically, but they're just taking the North Texas roster. So I don't really take a lot of stock into how they rank these guys at all.
Well, and we talk about this too when discussing high school recruits. If you want to know what these guys truly are rated, go see who is recruiting them. Mm-hmm. If you can find out who is also in the running for some of these players, you'll know. So yeah, London Merritt's going to come in and be a starter. I love the depth that he also adds. I love the fact that Jaheim Lawson could be a rotational guy. Nothing against Jaheim Lawson. I think Jaheim Lawson is great, but you know what's better than Jaheim Lawson? Jaheim Lawson with a lot of energy because he's not having to play 1,000 snaps as an undersized guy. And then Will Helt on the opposite side. So I'm curious to see what our rotations look like. We saw some mix and matches last year where it would be Jaheim and Will Helt and TJ Parker and Cade Denhoff. But you usually saw Jaheim with Denhoff and TJ Parker with Will Helt. So I'm curious to see what Will Helt and London Merritt look like together, and then Jaheim Lawson, and then pick your poison with Darian Mayo, Ari Watford, and whoever else. Maybe CJ Wesley if he develops nicely. We don't really know much about him besides the fact that he's a Howard guy, and Arteta Scott actually recommended him to come to Clemson. So for what it's worth, we'll find out what he can do. Donovan Starr, cornerback out of Auburn. I think he's a rotational dude. I don't think he's going to be taking Ashton Hampson's starting spot. And you know what? Maybe if Elliott Washington pushes into nickel, maybe he does start out on the field or, start outside, to the field. So we can see. I mean, and Mike Reed, we talked about this too, loves to rotate dudes.
Yeah.
So just because they're not a starter doesn't mean they're not going to play significant snaps.
Well, double relationship there. So Donovan Starr obviously was recruited by Clemson out of high school. So there's a relationship between him and Mike Reed. The quarters coach, Wesley McGriff, worked with Tom Allen at Ole Miss.
Oh,
so I know the corner coach at Auburn definitely probably had some good things to say about the kid, probably his work ethic and things of that nature. So
yeah,
I don't feel any different about him than when we recruited him. I don't think he's ready to play. But man, he's got speed and he's got the size that you look for a Mike Reed corner. And I think that he's an awesome ad. How much he helps us this year, I'm not 100% sure. But I think going forward, it's going to be some guy that you're just going to see trend upward throughout his time.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a guy like a Corian Gibson and Strozer who ends up playing later on in the year. And you're like, man, this guy's kind of flashing on tape. And then can end up being the dude later on down the road. Luke Farrelly, we already talked about him a little earlier. 100% to start. I cannot wait to see him and Sammy Brown play together. Can't wait.
Man, that is like I try not to get like too hype about things, but that is one of the best linebacker duos in the country.
Yeah, we thought that coming into this year. Wade Wood has maybe lacked in some areas, side to side speed. You know who doesn't? Either Sammy Brown or Luke Farrelly. And the thing I liked most about Luke Farrelly's film, the very little film that I watched, he plays with purpose. All of his movement is with purpose. He takes great angles. He blitzes very, very well, which, what is a good blitz? A good blitz, just because you know how to run through the A gap doesn't mean you're blitzing well. Right. It's having a feel. Okay, I know the guy's going to slide to his left because of what it's looking like here. I see him sliding to his left. I'm going to slip a little on the outside of the A gap, maybe borderline B gap, so I can hit, have open space to get where I need to go, right? Or understanding, hey, it's a run. I'm blitzing. I know what my assignment is, but I'm gonna cut it short a little this way so I can cut him off on the backside. So anyway, he does a really, really good job of that, and he's a sure tackler. He's a wrap up sure tackler. So yeah, and I really like what I see on him.
Yeah, and with two guys playing inside like that, those two have to trust each other too, right? Because Sammy Brown, if he wants to play like he wants to play, he's got to trust the guy next to him. So having someone that solid where he can shoot gaps and blitz like you're talking about and be disruptive without having to think twice about leaving an assignment open.
I might have just come up with a T-shirt.
What's that?
Our two linebackers are camo and espresso. We got the Italian, we got the redneck. Camo and espresso. We actually might need to trademark that and put it up there. But anyway, can't wait for camo and espresso.
Yeah, Luke Farrelly is the biggest transfer portal pickup we've had.
Absolutely. Not even close.
I would say.
Well, it is close. I hate it when people say not even close because it probably is close. But he's phenomenal is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
Edge, CJ Wesley, we just talked about him a little bit from Howard. He's a depth piece. We don't know what he's going to do. Does he push Ari Watford? Does he push Darian Mayo? Is he a guy that just sits this year and then gets his opportunity next year? We'll find out. And we'll talk about him a little bit more in the transfer portal math that we're going to do next. But he is a big-time unknown piece. We have two of those. And with the depth that we're building and that we had already in high school, I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. It's cool to take a risk. He's probably low cost, and he wants to be there. And you know what he's going to be? He's going to be hungry. He's going to be hungry. There's a difference between hungry and hungry. Hungry, you're going to go have a snack. Hungry, you're going to stop until everything's dead, right? Lions hunt hungry. So we want him to be hungry.
Well, and you have a little insight to this too, but like scout team things and being able to replicate things in practice is important. So let's say Clemson has an opponent with a speed rusher. Who's replicating that in practice without CJ Wesley on the field?
It ain't Marcus Dixon.
Right.
It ain't Marcus Dixon.
We don't have a speed rusher. Like Jaheim Lawson's probably the fastest rusher, you would say, on the outside.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And so like even if he doesn't play, maybe his role is just helping you replicate things in practice from a speed perspective. Because there are teams that have speed rushes that you can't replicate because you don't have that body type in the room. Yeah. And with that, he's useful, right? Like you can obviously create packages on third down with a guy like that.
Yeah.
You're not expecting to hold up, on rundowns and things of that nature, but you can definitely use him to replicate things in practice, and you can definitely create packages where he can be effective.
And he's got the frame to do it. 6'3", 240 is not small.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we've learned through the transfer portal that kids aren't always what they're listed at.
Yeah.
So we've heard a couple stories of that so far.
I don't like to say that he was undersized. He was versatile. He could have played D-back. He could have played defensive tackle.
When you have an edge rusher show up the campus and he's 210 pounds, you better tell that kid to learn how to backpedal at that point.
Yeah, or go to finance class.
Right.
Shout out to my finance bros. Marcus Strong, defensive lineman. I think he's going to be a starter. I think he's going to be a starter.
Well, like we were talking about before the show, it's him, Adams, and Burley. Two of those guys will emerge as dudes because iron sharpens iron. They're going to push each other to be great. So I think two of the three are going to emerge and be studs. And then the third is going to play a lot of snaps. I mean, they like to rotate on the defensive line. So if
I had a lock for who's definitely going to start, it's Amari Adams.
Yes.
Vic Burley and Marcus Strong is who I want to see battle it out. Now, this is not Vic Burley slander, like you're saying. That's going to be three really high upside defensive linemen who are going to push each other. Vic Burley has done nothing but improve year after year.
Mm-hmm. And last year had a good showing. Had a good showing in the Pinstripe Bowl too.
He really did. So if he could stay healthy, man, he could have a breakout year. So I'm really hoping that Vic Burley stays healthy this year.
But every Oklahoma fan that I've talked to has said Marcus Strong was going to play big minutes this year on Oklahoma. They said that he was ready to take the next step. So they're sad about losing him. And that's good. That's honestly like a really good gauge on how to judge your portal pickups. I mean, I know some fans will get salty and say like, oh, whatever, we didn't need that kid anyways. They're salty, but like when fan bases, you reach out to them and they're like, hey man, that's a solid player. Like he was going to play a lot this year. You kind of feel good about what you got.
Yeah. And it helps too when you get a guy like a Courtney Kelly out of West Georgia, 6'3", 280, really good size. Again, we don't know what his actual size is. We'll find out come weigh-in day. But a guy, again, who could maybe become a rotational dude. He's a junior. And he was one that a lot of people were looking at. It wasn't just Clemson. So obviously people liked his tape. Obviously people liked what his strength coach and his position coach and whoever contacted them from the school or whoever they contacted from the school, the information they gave him because he was sought after. I think he could end up being a rotational guy late because of his size and because of maybe some injuries here and there. I think he's better than so he's not Vic Burley. He's not Marcus Strong. He's not Amari Adams. But I think at this point, he's better than Mekhi Williams-Lee, and he's better than Champ Thompson and Heaven Brown-Schuler, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Chris Johnson Jr. I think he's a starter / rotational guy. Him and Gideon Davidson will be a 1-2 punch. And Gideon, you better learn the weight room, buddy, because I think this is your lightning to your thunder. So
you know what's crazy about this, Will, and I'm not like I don't want to go too far in the past, but whenever we landed Gideon Davidson, my comp for him was James Davis.
Really? And you know what? Now that I watch him, because I would have thought he was going to be more of a speed guy, but now that I'm watching him like against Power 5 opponents, our Power 4 opponents, he is more of a James Davis. He's not a home run guy. He's going to break some tackles. He's going to run really well between the tackles. And if you do give him enough space, you're not going to hulk him down.
Right.
So that's a really good comp.
So we got James Davis and CJ Spiller 2.0, man. Thunder Lightning.
That's right. I don't know if I want to call him CJ Spiller 2.0. He's not quite as bulky as CJ was.
I know, man. But, dude, I'm so excited for this guy. Like, there's so much you can do with this kid. I mean, seriously,
and he's a great pass catcher. So, go ahead. Like, I was going to say that.
No, I'm saying, I think you're going to see a lot of two-back sets with him, too. I think you're going to see a lot of motion with Chris Johnson Jr. I think he requires a lot of attention from a preparation standpoint. So he's just going to be fun. I think Chad Morris is going to have a hell of a time getting that guy the ball and seeing how he can get, different ways. No more jet sweeps to Cole Turner.
Allegedly.
No more jet sweeps to Cole Turner. If any of the coaching staff is watching Inside the Valley, why don't we run some jet sweeps with that guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
So not a really great between the tackles runner. I think that's going to be more Gideon Davidson, and then maybe Ezzy Mume if he gets some carries, but just a guy you can get out in space and just create. I think he's our kick returner day one, and I think that it's going to be a fun one.
I don't know if he's valuable enough to be a kick returner or a punt returner. We like to put our big time stars who can't get hurt. We like to put those guys back there.
Yeah, we're gonna wait till someone gets named preseason All-American, and then he's our kick returner.
We'll stick them back there. Yeah, and he can do it. And also to protect you from John Blau, shout out John Blau. Do not say that that's Chris Johnson's son, CJ2K. That is not CJ2K's son. Okay. Everybody's going and saying that, and John Blau is doing the Lord's work and going out there and making sure people knows that's not his son. It's a Devin Hester situation from Furman.
Yeah.
Kick returner, fast. Name is Devin Hester Jr., not Devin Hester's son. Well, he is Devin Hester's son, just not the Devin Hester's son.
Right.
Same situation. So that's our portal class as of now. We alluded to it earlier. I think we still go get an offensive lineman. Obviously, we're still pursuing a defensive lineman. I mean, we have one of those pop up just about every day. But at this point in the transfer portal, it's going to. Well, we went from this to now it's slow cooking. We're in the crock pot with Dabo now. What did he say? He said he said this, the first part was like being a minister out in Vegas, getting married out in Vegas. Now it's a slow game, right? So we're talking to dad. We're asking for their hand in marriage. So it's a lot more. It's a lot longer. It's a Southern marriage now. So I'm excited to see what comes next. Where I thought we would be higher in towards the 15 range, I think 13. I don't think we go higher than 13.
Yeah, I mean, I predicted 8, so I'm happy that we got 10.
I should have done that. I predicted 15. So you're going to be off. Price is right. Price is right. You lost. They went above you, right? But I'm still in the game. No, it's the other way around. You're good. You're good in Price is Right rules. I need to get on my Price is Right training. Let's do some transfer portal math, Dustin. So I'm going to ask you this question. Well, let's treat the transfer portal like we're trading somebody. We traded this asset for that asset.
Okay.
I didn't say asset. I said asset. Asset. We traded this player for that player. Elliott Washington II for Shelton Lewis. So Arkansas gets Shelton Lewis. We get Elliott Washington II. Did we win or lose?
I think we won that trade, man.
Yeah, I think we won that trade. We got the third best cover corner in the Big Ten versus. I like Shelton Lewis. You're probably a great guy. Corey Myrick for Ricardo Jones. I know this is going to hurt you, but you need to be transparent and you need to be even keeled on bias.
I like Corey Myrick a lot. I think we won that trade.
Yeah, me too. And not freshman Khalil Barnes, but junior Khalil Barnes for Jerome Carter III.
All right. I know Clemson, how Clemson fan base feels about Khalil Barnes. He's a good player, right? I think he lost his confidence. I think he's going to do well at Georgia.
Of course. I mean, we talked about last week, like if he didn't have it, there's no way Georgia gets him that fast.
Right.
No way.
So for that one, I'm going to say it's a wash. I think both sides benefit. I think we get Jerome Carter, an experienced veteran, a little bit more length than Khalil Barnes has, and Khalil Barnes gets a change of scenery and gets to play for the school that he grew up cheering for as a kid. So I'm going to say that one's a wash.
Classic Dustin. If you had fun, you won, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win. We all won. London Merritt for Marcus Dixon.
Oh my God, man! Yeah, why even discuss that one?
And shout out to Marcus Dixon. You changed positions. That's very difficult. Coming from someone who also did that, it's not the easiest thing to do. So shout out for you for trying and not transferring earlier. Go do what you got to do. London Merritt is better than you. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Yep.
Donovan Starr for Rob Billings. I know Rob Billings was a safety, but D-back for D-back.
Yeah, well, Rob Billings ended up at Jacksonville State, so I'm going to say the same thing we talk about is,
and that was
the market kind of dictated what that player actually was.
Yeah, and I think that's actually the closest thing to a straight up trade that we've had. Auburn to Clemson, and then Jacksonville State, which is in Alabama, to Clemson. So Alabama to Alabama.
Yeah.
Marcus Strong for Stephon Green.
See, I just don't know enough yet. I don't know enough about Marcus Strong. Stephon Green's a great player, man.
I would say wash.
Okay.
And the reason I say that, Marcus Strong was a rotational guy at Oklahoma and played significant amount at Oklahoma, who was the number one defense by far in the country. He played well. Stephon Green was a part of the 52nd best defense in the country, and was also a backup. Now, talent, Stephon Green is extremely talented. Marcus Strong is extremely talented. That's why I put it a wash. Obviously, LSU is going to come get him for a reason. They saw him play in that game. I I think he might be a better pass rusher than Marcus Strong is, but I think Marcus Strong might be more complete. I think the upside might be higher with Stephon Green, but I think Marcus Strong is more consistent. We can say wash, or you can say we lost.
I think it's TBD. I think it's TBD. Let's see how they both do this year.
So this is not a contentional trade, but one of the trades that, hey, depending on how well they play, is what draft pick you get out of it. What is that kind of pick? Compensatory? Conditional.
Yeah, something like that.
We'll call it. That sounds right. All right, this is no Keith Adams slander. Okay, no Hammerhead slander. So just be careful how you answer this. Keith Adams Jr. for Chris Johnson Jr.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take Chris Johnson Jr., man.
I think we will. D. Creighton for Luke. Espresso for Relly.
Oh, sorry. You got it. See, you didn't tell me not to laugh at that one. So,
hey,
sorry, D. Creighton.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let's put it this way: D. Creighton and Jamal Anderson for Luke. Espresso for Relly.
Yeah, I'm taking espresso.
Does that not? That slaps. Camo and espresso.
I like it, man.
I'm gonna pitch it to him. Tell me how long. Jamal Anderson, who's kind of a tweener, so this is why I have him here for edge. CJ Wesley.
Yeah, TBD. Don't know what we're getting in CJ Wesley at all. Don't know what Jamal Anderson's going to do at SMU. Kind of surprised that that's the level of school he landed at.
It tells you the talent he has, the upside he has. I'm sure SMU recruited him. So that means we won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. Pretty good. Excuse me. That's actually not all 10 because it wouldn't line up for all of them. And then we had 3 pushes / conditionals. I'd say that's not too shabby.
It's a good day at the transfer portal, man.
Good day at the transfer portal. All right. We didn't lose anything. No losses.
Right.
All right. So, Dustin, you put out this is the spreadsheet podcast. We talked about that before the episode. My transfer portal spreadsheet plus your depth chart spreadsheet and our powers combined, we make Captain Planet. So we've moved away from my spreadsheet. Let's jump into yours. Let's talk some depth chart stuff. So what positions do you still say are weak? So we've talked about what we did with the portal additions. What does the roster look like now? And where would you still consider us weak?
Well, offensively, I mean, definitely the offensive line. The kind of surprising thing is you don't go out and get a portal QB, right? So you're not spending a lot of money in the transfer portal for a QB, for a bona fide starter, anything where you're dumping, $2.5, $3 million into a player, right? So in my head, I'm thinking you have money to spend on the offensive line. You're not paying Tristan Lee. You're not paying Blake Miller. You're not paying Ryan Linthicum. You're not paying Walker Park. So all that money is coming off the books. And then what you're doing is you're bringing in, 6 or 7 offensive line that are freshmen, and you're not sure if they're ready to play at all yet.
4.
So
6.
For me, I'm disappointed in the offensive line headed into next year. You can create a 5, but I think we're going to end up playing musical chairs there again. You have guys like Colin Sadler, who are probably going to start next year. Is he going to start at tackle? Is he going to start at guard? Is Thurman, is he going to start at center, guard, or tackle? Is Sewell, is he going to start at guard or center? So there's all these guys that you can kind of plug and play in different areas. And I think it's just going to lead to us starting a ton of different combinations next year to where we just have to put like a Chancellor Barkley in at guard to start. And then maybe Sewell plays center, but then the guard gets injured. So then we're going to have to move Sewell to guard and move Gavin Blanchard to center. It's just, I'm just worried that we're going to end up playing musical chairs there with the lack of depth at tackle next year, because there's a lot of tweeners at tackle, but there's no true bona fide starting right tackle on the roster.
And that's what I wanted to talk about. So tweeners, we have a lot of tweeners on this roster, offensively and defensively. I also have offensive line listed as a weakness, not because we have a lot of high end talent, a lot of top heavy talent. There's no experience depth, and I think that's what's going to be our biggest bugaboo. So you got Braden Jacobs, who played left tackle and left guard. So that's one guy. You've got Colin Sadler, who's played left guard, left tackle, right guard. So another tweener. You've got, let's see.
Sewell, who has played some center, not in major snaps, but he has played some.
Guard and center, but that's not too much different. Elijah Thurman, who's played guard and tackle. So you've got a few tweeners, and then the guys we've gone out and recruited. Chancellor Barkley could probably play both. I think he's better fitted for an interior guy, but he could probably play both.
And then last year, Easton Ware, he got injured, but he was repping both. So he's got a tackle body, but can also play guard.
So I think like with what we have, like next year, we're a year early on the offensive line. So if we get a veteran guy now, we'll have back-to-back years of great offensive line play. So I don't think there's enough. Like if you're rolling the dice, I'm a D&D guy. If I'm rolling the dice, I need to, I'm rolling my 20-sided dice. Odds are the majority of the guys that are depth pieces are not going to be very good because they don't have the reps. They just don't. So they're going to be forced to get them in this situation, which could cost us. Now, in a perfect world, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you roll out Braden Jacobs at left tackle. You roll out you roll out one of the younger guys, one of the freshmen at left guard. Harris Sewell plays center, so I'd say Barclay or Wise play left guard. Sewell plays center.
Sadler's gonna play one of the guard positions.
So maybe not. I think I would rather have a stronger interior than I would have a stronger right tackle. I would rather have Colin Sadler be the weak point at the right tackle position than us be weak at the guard. And maybe that's crazy, but I really want us to be able to run the football well inside the tackles.
So you have Thurman at right guard. Is that what you'd say?
I would rather have Thurman at right guard, or really just be like, hey, let's just go on and overload one side and put Thurman and Braden Jacobs on one side.
Yeah. And
then you put Sadler at right tackle and with the most inexperienced person right next to him so he could help him out. I mean, it's going to be difficult. Matt Luke is going to earn his paycheck. He's going to earn his paycheck. Again, this could be one of those situations where we think it's weak and they end up being better than we thought. I doubt it.
There's a lot of tackles like just kind of, I don't want to say buried is the wrong word, but you got Tucker Caddis, who's a redshirt freshman, obviously a tackle body. And then like who's coming in now? You have Carter Scruggs, Leo Delaney, Adam Guthrie, and Braden Williams, all tackle bodies.
Well, maybe you're right.
But I'm saying they can play it, and they played it in high school. So you have a bunch of guys like coming in as freshmen. But I mean, like I don't look at any of those guys as day one starters. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Carter Scruggs starts at right tackle. I don't know. But but it's scary, especially in this era of the portal. I know that we've been flirting with a lot of the tackle prospects that have entered, but we've whiffed on all of them. So for me, like that's the scariest position. And you're starting a quarterback for first year starting. You're having a new offensive coordinator, and you want all these guys to be in a position to be successful. And as you know, it all starts up front. So just I would hate for all of this to like not work because we didn't get the offensive line right.
Yeah, and I'll say two things. Like look at all the playoff teams. The four remaining, well, now it's two remaining, but the two remaining have the best trenches by far. Offensive line and defensive lines. The second thing, one of the things I love most about Dabo worries me sometimes because he's looking at his offensive line room and saying, man, like we've got a bunch of talent. I like the guys we have.
Right.
Me, I'm looking at it from the outside saying, I don't, and it's hard for me to trust him now because he liked what we had last year and it struggled. We don't know what else happened that could have caused those struggles. There's maybe they had a national championship caliber roster last year and something goes wrong in camp, something goes wrong here and there, and maybe people were playing hurt we didn't know about. I don't know. You lose a little bit of trust at his talent eye or his ability to remove bias in this transfer portal era because we know he's not going to do that. He's going to lean towards till graduation do we part, right? Which is we love to say that before the transfer portal era, but now that we struggle and we're not winning 10 games a year, people don't like that as much anymore. Yeah. Right? When you're winning games, all that stuff's great. But now when you go 7-6, no one wants to hear that crap. Again, I still enjoy it. I would still want my son to play for him. But when you talk about the majority of the fan base, nobody wants to hear that crap. They want us to win games. They don't care how we do it.
And I'll say this with caution. I'm not comparing Miami's offensive line and Clemson's offensive line, but this is only Matt Luke's second class. Right. That offensive line for Miami, besides one transfer, the Bachmeier kid, that's a homegrown offensive line that took multiple years of playing together and playing in that system to become what they are today. I'm not saying Matt Luke's unit is going to become that. What I'm saying is that it's going to take time. So all these guys that you like that are coming in as freshmen, they're not going to physically mature until they're juniors, seniors. And honestly, if they stay together, like that is a really good group. Like,
absolutely.
Oh my God. Like that's like you're looking at prospects and you're like, dude, that's like you got 2 or 3 NFL guys waiting in the wings, but they're just not. But they're just not there yet. That. Yeah, never.
And I agree. And you have to think from Davo's perspective. Hey, if I go get this portal guy, does that risk someone jumping ship? Hey, but we have an open spot. Rowan Byrne left.
Yeah.
But you talk about Matt Luke and his ability to build a homegrown roster. When Matt Luke was the offensive line coach at Georgia, they won 2 national championships. Right. Played in 3. So I think he knows what he's doing. All right. Any other weaknesses on the roster?
Well, I said cornerback. Like for me, as a starter, I feel really good about Ashton Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good about Elliott Washington. I think he's going to be a very good starting cornerback. But like we've said, he may get bumped in the nickel. So he gets bumped in the nickel. Who is your second starting cornerback?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just I think that they could have taken one more there. Either that or they maybe take someone who is a true nickel prospect, like maybe a safety that you plan on starting at nickel. That way Elliott Washington can just play outside.
Yeah, and we could get that. We could get that.
Right.
I actually had corner as a strength because of the serviceable depth. Where you're saying we don't have a definite 2, I say we have a lot of guys who can rotate. And I mean, you want your definite 1 and 2. I get it. So I definitely don't disagree with what you're saying there.
And again, I like both guys coming in. I like Marcel Gibson. I think he's the biggest sleeper in the class. And I like Shavar Young. He got recruited by pretty much every top program in the country.
Yeah.
And we held on to him despite efforts from Oregon and Michigan and all these other schools that tried to lure him away. So he's going to be a really good player. But again, next year, I'm just worried about them coming in and what kind of impact they're going to have as a freshman. Hopefully they surprise us. I mean, there's nothing to say a freshman cornerback can't play and be serviceable. So
it's happened before.
So as I look at it today on paper, I'm a little worried about it. That's how I'd say, like, if you look at the defense as a whole, I think that we've done a really good job overhauling the safety position. I feel good about the safety room. Good.
Do you trust
Not
Ashton
great.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, I feel good about the safety room. Maybe not great, but I don't know that I feel good about the cornerback room as we sit here today.
Do you feel that Ashton Hampton could step out in the field right now and match up with somebody's number 1?
No.
Right. I think that would be my biggest issue, and maybe why I would take them off my strength and maybe have them a push, a watch, a neutral, a wait and see.
Right.
Because we don't have that lockdown guy. We better be able to pass rush. But we had a lockdown guy last year, and we were still 99th in the country in pass yards allowed. So
sure,
we'll see. Dustin, I have quarterback as and safety. So quarterback, I say we're weak because we have an unproven starter. Yes, Chris Vizina started against SMU. Yes, he's played some snaps. I wouldn't call them meaningful against multiple people, but he's very unproven. Very unproven. You would ask the layman Clemson fan, they would say he's proven. He's proven that he's not it. You and I think might say a little bit different. You can see the upside in Vizina's game. Does it come out? Is Chad Morris able to get it out? That's why I have it as a weakness. You can win in today's game with a quarterback manager, a offensive manager. I mean, look, Carson Beck might be a talented quarterback manager, but he is a quarterback manager. I mean, the last couple of games, he's averaged between 5 and 6 yards per attempt. That is 2 yards below the league average. 8 is what he usually floats around, which is fairly good.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone as addicted to the check down as Beck is. Like there was a play against Ole Miss. He's running towards the line of scrimmage, and the check down ends up behind him because he's running and he still throws it.
And it was a fumble, and they actually ended up getting yards on it because that was I know exactly.
I was like, man, I cannot believe he checked the ball down there. Like you're running towards the line of scrimmage. It's unbelievable. But no, not to interrupt. I agree. I agree. Like you can win with the game manager. And the thing I'll say about Vizina, and if you want to be totally fair, the one game he played, he got better throughout the game.
Yeah.
Like he was horrible in the first quarter. You thought that they needed to pull him because he couldn't play. But as the game went on, he got more comfortable. So what does that look like throughout a season?
Right. It just thinks that game one is LSU. You're going to have to get comfortable, and that's on rules.
But what really stinks is last year we didn't blow enough teams out to where he could get serviceable snaps.
Yes, I agree. And then you don't want to play him in a lot of snaps against Furman for whatever reason.
Right.
You want to see what you had in Denson. Anyway, safety. I have that as a weakness because inexperienced depth. I love the top end. I love Corey Myrick. I love Jerome Carter. After that, you have a bunch of freshmen, true freshmen, which are uber talented freshmen, and Polo Anderson, uber talented. You don't want your freshmen to have to get thrust into playing significant snaps. So if we're not able to get one more guy, it's going to be scary. It's going to be a little scary. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody at the safety position. I like Jakarian Keenan. I think he's got a lot of upside. I don't want to see number 16 roaming the safety field next year. I don't. I want to see him closer to the line of scrimmage. I think Ronan Hannafin is a great football player. I think he has the ability to be a great football player. I do not think he can cover anybody. I do not want him covering wide receivers ever again. Right. And the game that just flashes in my head over and over and over again is Duke and SMU. When he had to cover one-on-one against SMU, he got torched multiple times on a slant route. Multiple times. So talented guy, great football player. I don't think safety's it. I don't think corner's it. Put some pounds on, be that tweener at linebacker. Coming on the dime package. We talked about Sammy Brown. If you want to nitpick his game, he struggles in the passing game. Man, if it's third and long, get Sammy Brown off the field.
Yeah.
But running Hannafin back there. Let him play. I'm getting ahead of myself. Where do you think we're strong?
Well, I think wide receiver is the obvious one. I think obviously one of your biggest wins this offseason was retaining TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco while also signing Naheem Burrows, Connor Salmon, and Gordon Sellers. I mean, it's just ridiculous, man. Like, I really think that wide receiver room is going to be special just yet again. But like you said, it's only as special as the quarterback is. So do we really unlock their full potential in Chad Moore's offense with Vizina throwing in the ball and an offensive line that can't protect Lauren in 2 seconds? Well, that's remains to be seen. But as you look at it on paper, TJ Moore, Bryant Wesco, 2 NFL guys, Naeem Burrows, I'm willing to go out on a limb and say he's going to be an NFL guy. So it's a good room, really good room.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they have top end experience. So top end talent with experience. This will be Bryant Wesco and TJ Moore's 3rd year playing. I know Bryant Wesco got hurt and missed the remainder of the season, but he played half the season last year. So uber talented people. Cole Turner's going to be coaching. He's going to be coaching on the sideline. Hopefully, I don't want to see him playing too much, but he will. He will play. If Juju Preston can put on about 20 pounds, maybe he plays some. But you got some uber talented freshmen in Naheem Burrows, Gordon Sellers, and Connor Salmon. And those guys don't have to get mature fast. They don't. They can come in situations to spell somebody, but they're going to get their opportunity. I don't think that we have a choice.
And we'll eventually go through their tape too. But Gordon Sellers is going to bring back the old nostalgia of Clemson wide receivers because that guy is a 50-50 monster. Like he's the old 80-20 guy.
I don't want to say Mike Williams yet. He has a Mike Williams ceiling. As of right now, he kind of reminds me of Cornell Powell. So I feel like Cornell Powell had that. He's not as bulky as Cornell was.
Sure.
But if you threw the ball to Cornell Powell on a slant route, on a post route, and it's contested, he was going to win that rep. Now, Mike Williams was the big time play, one-handed snag, like plucking stuff out of there that he shouldn't have been catching. That's Gordon Sellers' ceiling, in my opinion. But I feel like where Gordon Sellers is now, what he could be, I think Cornell Powell. I don't think that's a bad comp.
Do you know what Gordon Sellers is for me?
Who's that?
He's what we wanted Bo Collins to be.
Yeah. Dude, he reminds me so much of Bo Collins.
He is a more talented Bo Collins.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. Didn't Bo Collins play with DJ Uiagalelei?
Oh, yeah.
Do they not just – talk about in high school.
Yeah.
I think they were teammates in high school.
Why can I not remember that? I know they're both California kids. I know that.
I feel like they were teammates in high school, so maybe we just stay away from that high school. St. Bosco.
Yeah.
Stay away from
Yeah.
St. Bosco.
Yeah. They were. Yeah. Man,
Tight end,
you just took me through some PTSD, man.
yeah, sorry, buddy. Tight end, we both have tight end.
Special trio, man. I mean, seriously, like Olsen, Pat Henry coming back, like you have 3 tight ends that you feel really good about. The staff can't stop raving about Logan Brooking. We all know about Christian Beneker, and Chad Morris loves a good tight end, loves a good H-back. So let's use them this year.
Yeah, no, and we're going to. You're going to see them being used in the passing game. You're going to be seeing them used a lot. All right, I have I have linebackers as a strength. I love the top end. We talked about espresso and camo, but then you have a guy in Kobe McLeod who's started in games, who's played significant snaps that they're able to keep. I'm blanking on a couple of guys. You have
Jeremiah Alexander.
Yeah, so like you're able to rotate people. I mean, having a 2 deep is huge, and both those guys have played significant snaps. Man, I don't know about you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I do eventually think that Drew Woodaz can turn into something. I think he's probably going to be a little bit more athletic than his brother was.
Yeah.
I really like, well, I was going to say Kobe McLeod. He's probably changed my opinion on him more than anyone else on the defense. Like, I want to say like last year before Tom Allen was here and he was being coached by Wes Goodwin, I didn't think that kid could play. Like, I was like legitimately like, he's not a power 4 linebacker. Yeah. And then like you watch him towards the end of this year, and especially in the Pinstripe Bowl, you're like, all right, like this dude can play. Like he's a good player.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him starting next to Sammy Brown, but he can definitely like, get some reps and he can be serviceable.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that. We talked about corner already. I think edge has ended up becoming a strength of ours. Will Helt, London Merritt, Jaheim Lawson, and then you have 3, just like our defensive tackles, you have 3 guys that you can trust. Who emerges as the 4th guy is yet to be seen. But when iron sharpens iron, when you have that opportunity to get in there and play, and there's multiple people competing, that's great for everybody. Yeah. Rising tide raises all ships. So I'm very excited to see what that edge group can do. Is there any other group you want to talk about?
Well, no, I was just going to say the defensive line as a whole, like, every team struggles with depth in this era because your backups get plucked by other schools. So I think having 3 starter level defensive tackles and 3 starter level defensive end, I think you're in a really good spot there.
Yeah. Dustin, anything else you want to talk about? Anybody you see emerging that maybe we're not talking about? There's a lot to be seen with spring ball. So yeah, so much we got to wait and see.
I just want to tell people, like, I really like London Merritt. Like, I'm not going to put him up there with Luke Farrelly just yet, but he also did play as a freshman, and he had some very good things that he did as a freshman. Not as special of a pass rusher. So, like, I wouldn't expect him to be, like, a 10, 11 sack guy, but just super disruptive, especially in the run game. I think, like, he may not get the sacks that you want, but I think he may lead the team in tackles for loss if Helt doesn't.
But, Dustin, what's crazy, especially with young guys, if a young guy starts at edge, 99.9% of the time it's because they can pass rush, and they struggle mightily in the run game.
It's the opposite.
Very seldom do we see a guy who's this refined in the run game. Man, you can develop those pass rush skills.
And it's not that he can't rush the passer. It's just he wins with power. So he's more of a power pass rusher. He doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves. Like, you're not going to see him spin off of guys or, like Will Helt. Like, he has some pass rush moves to him. But Merritt is just a powerful, disruptive, very instinctual defensive end. And I think he's going to be a ton of fun. And Clemson fans are going to love him. And if you're going to say you're losing number 44, Cade Denhoff, to graduation, you're gaining a 44 from the transfer portal. That'll definitely put some fans in the stands.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's right where Cade Denhoff left off. And Cade Denhoff probably played his best year last year. So this is not slanders to him. I just think London Merritt's ceiling is higher.
And this is why Rumpf is still around. Like, I think people like are frustrated with Rumpf as a recruiter, but Rumpf is a good coach. Like, I think he got the most out of Denhoff. I think that Helt continued to play better. Look at Lawson. Like, the development of Lawson's incredible. And it's yet to be seen what we're really going to get out of Mayo and Watford. But I really have high hopes for both of those kids. So I think Rumpf, giving him the transfer portal and letting him develop these guys, I think that's a really good room next year.
Yeah, I really think Ari Watford's going to be somebody that we're talking about this time next year, maybe even earlier than that. But that's another episode of Inside the Valley. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube. YouTube, we're under the Walk On Red Shirts, but our playlist is Inside the Valley. This is a Walk On Red Shirt affiliated podcast, so please go give them some love too. Follow Dustin Black at DB93. Come see me. No, it's DB4920.
No, it's not.
It is D Black.
Dustin B429, man.
I'll never get it.
You'll never get it, man.
It'll never happen. Like the first couple times I was trolling, the last time I was really trying. Yeah. And I will never get it's the very first part. I will always say D Black. Might as well be D Block. The block is hot. All right. Thanks for joining us for another episode. We'll see you in the next one.